right, here we are back. Another episode. Can I tell you how excited I am about today? I have been wanting to do this restaurant since before this podcast even started. We are doing Jovick Brothers Deli.
Yeah.
They are up in the Westport area in Maryland Heights. This was recommended to me by Matt Thornton, my tattoo artist. The very first time I ever went to him, back when he was a fan of our old show when we did this, and he said, "Did you guys ever do Jovick Brothers?" I said, "No, we haven't." And finally, today, we're finally doing it, and I couldn't be more.
He looks like a guy
thrilled.
who knows a sandwich.
Oh, he knows his sandwiches.
Second, let's both go.
Why would we do
Because
that?
we're finally doing it.
Oh,
the
we're
relief of
finally
doing
doing
it.
something.
I hope it doesn't stink.
Haven't you ever had anything in life where you wanted to, and you've worked hard
the
to finish,
satisfaction
and
of
you're
it.
finally done, and
We're at the top of the
sun,
mountain.
yes.
We're sticking our flag in the Jovick
Man.
Brothers.
Thought the top of the mountain would look a little different than this.
No, it really looks like the rest of the mountain. And you know what the other side of the mountain looks like? Same as the side you came up.
That's true.
Same thing. But
No,
it's
it's
a
all
nice
dark
view.
and mossy on the
you
other
ever
side.
see people that climb Mount Everest and they take the pictures up on the very highest peak?
Yeah.
And then somebody says, most of the people die going back down.
I just saw.
No,
Yeah.
is that true?
I
Yeah.
think so.
I just saw
Lord.
something, though, where somebody.
That's got to suck.
Yeah, they say that's when they push that guy off.
Somebody parachuted down from Everest. And people, in the comments, it's like, oh, it seems better than walking for 3 days.
It kind of does.
42 minutes.
How do you do that, though? Is it that steep that you could just kind of take a running leap and cover
Sure,
a lot of
parts are-
ground?
that's how they do that in a lot of places. In Telluride, when you're
Can
going.
you do it in chunks? Could you just pack up your chute and
Well,
do
I
another
don't think-
chunk?
I think that's the problem.
I don't think you parachute from 29,000 feet to
No,
sea
you
level.
can't.
Well, so these were all things that they talked about. Yes, I think the problem is the decompression issues. The other issue is that you have too much stuff to carry. But yeah, in a lot of mountain
what
towns.
decompression issue?
Well, I think the pressure of going from 29,000 feet to sea level can cause you like the bends, can it?
No.
I think
people parachute from 15,
that's what other
20,000
people in the
feet all the
comments
time.
said.
I parachuted from 13,500
Yeah.
feet.
And you didn't have any
Yeah.
decompression.
I didn't feel
I'm
any
just reading the
decompression.
comments.
I
But
just,
in a lot of mountain
See,
towns
we
where
don't
they have.
let facts just sit here.
That's
There's
right.
a
we
question.
question
Yeah.
facts.
If it comes out the bottom on this podcast, it's the truth.
But
Yeah.
they will, in order to do I don't know what it is, parasailing? No, parasailing's behind a boat.
Well, there's paragliding.
Okay.
And you will just
I just
run
get
down a steep hill on
Yeah.
the side of a mountain,
Yeah.
and the wind will catch you, and
Yeah.
you're gone.
Really?
Yeah. But usually,
How are you going to get that paraglider all the way to the top of Everest? That seems
carry
like a
it.
pain in the ass.
You get one of those Sherpas. They're the most amazing.
Oh, my
human
And
God.
what, they got to
beings.
carry that all the way up
They're
there?
the
Do you know
most
anything about the
burdensome.
They're
Sherpas?
the most amazing human beings on
These,
the
you
planet.
know how the Everest expeditions are. It's quite strenuous. People train for years, and
Yeah.
half of them die. The Sherpas just run up and down on a daily basis.
You know, it's like that video you see on TikTok. These guys are running a sprint, and there's a cameraman who's running along with them holding the camera, and he's faster than all
Yeah.
the sprinters are. It's like that. That's like the Sherpas.
No,
Yeah.
the Sherpas, well, they're born at altitude. They live their whole lives at altitude,
Oh,
and they're dirt poor.
Is that what did
we
you
have some
find out?
breaking news
Oh,
here.
breaking news.
Mark Dwyer says, hats off to Get BC for a great commercial during the debate. We definitely needed a smile break in your commercial delivered. Thank you. And then Angela Rose says, at Get BC, brilliant commercial.
There it is. If you
who's-
didn't
who
catch
said
it during the debate.
Mark Dwyer, that's Ed's alter ego and Angela Rose.
Those are just
His gems.
citizens passing on a little bit of thanks, a little appreciation.
Well,
if you didn't see
thank
it
you.
during the debate, yeah, and you'll see it. I think we're going to run the spot during this election season, just to give people a mental break. I mean, watching these ads, I don't care who you're voting for, but watching these ads one after the next after the next.
Saying
how does
the
it
most
not
vile
make you,
things
they're
about
vile.
people.
We're trying to live in a world with some peace and some.
No, that's the problem.
I just want to relax at
everybody,
night.
Everybody isn't.
I don't understand. Everybody says these things about each other. Nobody gives a crap about anybody's anything.
They won't say it in person, though.
Feelings, nothing.
And then they got used to saying it online, and so it just, the internet is a terrible
Anyway,
place.
the commercial we ran was nothing but puppies.
If you could snap your fingers, the internet and smartphones never existed and never will exist. Would you do it?
Yeah, I think I actually would.
Oh, without a
Yeah,
doubt.
I think I would. I don't think we're better off now. The only thing, if I could keep the phones useful for anything, I would keep it useful.
I'm blowing up.
Wait,
I would keep it useful for Uber.
It's from Jennifer.
I think.
well, you know,
Seriously?
well, do you know
Uber.
that your phone has an on-off switch for the volume?
Yeah, try to do it with this phone. With this
but
cover,
maybe that's
Yeah, it's true. You've gotten
you
a
keep it
cover
in a
that's
bubble.
rendered your phone useless.
not really a phone.
Well,
anymore.
I suspect, if I had to
loudspeaker.
guess, he was too cheap to buy
no,
the
I bought,
updated version.
I bought the I
can't
bought
even
an
believe that
OtterBox
OtterBox still
Defender.
makes that version of a case, considering how
there
the
you go.
materials have changed.
No,
Hit it
you
on
can
off.
do it. It's just hard.
I mean,
Yeah. I mean, Andy, you're a champion. How you were able to do it. Not
And that
only
was
was it
with
hard,
my-
he fixed it with one finger.
With my left hand,
with his
which is-
non-dominant hand.
oh, and my left
Wow.
hand is worthless.
Really?
Is it
Oh.
though?
Yeah, it really
oh.
is. If I'd give you, you give me 10 grand and,
Be that
and
as
you
it
can
may,
have it.
our spot had nothing but puppies.
Yeah.
Would you give your left hand
No.
for $1 million
No, of course
tax
he
free?
wouldn't. No, nobody's giving their
Well,
left hand for $1 million.
You know what?
Yeah.
Probably not, but
Are you
not for
kidding?
the reason you might think.
Are you kidding?
That's nothing for a left hand.
It's
People
not.
you would
People might do
the
because they
line-
think that
the
that's a ton of
line-
money. It's
the
not.
line may
They will
be
regret it.
so long.
They
They might.
To me, it's an aesthetic thing.
You know what? You say that for people that haven't lost their left hand, but we've represented people who have lost a hand, and I promise you, nobody's taking $1
Yeah, I
million
think you
to
take for
settle that
granted.
claim.
I agree with you.
You're asking for people that have lost their left hand. Their opinion.
Right. They're not taking $1 million.
Right.
For them, it
But-
wasn't a
but
choice.
People before
Right, but
that.
for them, they've already lost the hand, and they still won't take the
But they
$1 million.
didn't have the choice. Hey,
No one's choosing the $1
sort
million.
of tangentially related.
Yes.
Um,
Nice word, by the way.
A few things. My daughter had surgery on Monday. And what happened is, long story short, she was technically born with 11 toes. Now, it didn't look like that. Just the pinky toe in one of her feet was about 30% larger.
And what about the extra pinky toe?
Huh?
I thought she had 11 toes.
No.
Well, no,
that
you're not
counts as an
listening to me.
extra toe?
Well,
Just because it's 30%? She had one fat toe?
you're not listening to
I'm
me.
listening. You said it was 30%
Yes.
larger. It's
And
a fat toe.
Technically, what that was there was the bones for an 11th toe within there, and the nail bed was, what do they call it, a conjoined nail bed. So it was like the conjoined twin.
I was going to say, was
of
that
toes.
was that supposed to be a twin, and the only part that formed was that little
it
part
was
of the
supposed
toe?
to be another toe. Anyway, so she had. They went in and they cut it out, and we were not necessarily going to do this surgery because it really was not a big deal. But she had to have surgery on her eyes because she has something called strabismus, which is a big deal if you don't correct it surgically. I said jokingly, any chance you can take care of her toe while you're in there? And they said, sure. We
Really?
can coordinate
What kind of surgeon does both?
Two different
eye
doctors.
Two different.
The toe doctor goes
could
in.
they work simultaneously because they were so far apart from each other?
Well, she's 2 feet tall, so they're not that far apart. No, but the whole thing took like an hour and 15 minutes. The reason I bring it up, a few reasons. Number one, is she an amputee?
No, she's not an amputee.
She had 11 toes.
Well,
They cut one off. She now has 10.
She had
She-
30% of a toe.
she is in the same way that I knew a guy once
It's like
who
taking a skin tag off and calling herself an amputee.
No, she lost she digit.
I
She lost
knew,
30% of a digit.
No, it is technically, medically considered
It's
an
okay.
11th toe.
I'm going to answer this.
Yeah.
I knew a guy once whose
I don't care about your guy.
parents were very wealthy Europeans who, during World War II, they were skiing when everything
Mm-hmm.
started, and they just, instead of going back to Germany, they came to the United States.
Yes.
And he said to me, well, my parents were survivors. And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, they left things in Germany. I said, so they left their summer clothes and had to flee without their summer clothes, and that makes them a survivor?
I will say this.
I think technically, though, it's probably they are survivors.
Yes, but I think there are a lot of... remember, they were wealthy. They had means. They left stuff behind. But in the context of the time, they may not have known if they were going to get out. They did have to flee their home where they lived, and they had friends and family.
Say this, they definitely are...
That was traumatic.
They're refugees.
But most people
I don't know if
believe
they're survivors.
Survivors means survivors of the death camps.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
I think
the general.
I don't know that they're survivors because their life was never under threat, but they are refugees because they fled.
Wait, who just?
Of war.
Oh, Adam.
Yeah.
Adam.
Well, am I a September 11th survivor?
Because you happen to be in New York? No, you had to have been in the towers or in the close proximity.
I don't think they.
Well, I'll tell you this: I was not at work yet, and worked very, very close to the towers.
You
were just lucky.
But do they use the word
or
survivors about any people associated with 9/11? I don't think I've heard that.
Yeah,
used.
Survivor?
Yes.
Sure.
With people that were on 9/11?
Yeah, I mean, if
Sure,
you
in
made
the
it
towers.
out,
What do
if
you
you
think?
made it out of the
Okay,
towers.
so but that's the limitation. You
think
had to
so.
be within the tower.
Yeah,
I think so.
Or there are probably
if
maybe...
you were amongst that group that had a run as the thing was coming down and you were covered in soot and you're running, to me, you were a survivor.
No, I'm not denigrating. I'm just wondering what the technical...
That's where I would draw the line. I mean,
just asking the question. So, so definitionally, then technically, your people are not survivors. But listen, you start the day with 11 toes.
Okay,
you
but let
end
me
the
ask you
day
this.
with 10 toes because somebody cut it off.
Okay, but you know that's a fetish. There's a fetish out there for people that are into amputees.
I don't know.
Now, so here's the question: when she's older, when she's older and she's of an appropriate age. Let's see what kind of appeal she has in the amputee world. My guess is she's going to have zero.
Well, but
no one's going to think of that and be turned on by the fact that they're going to look down and they're going to say, what the F? She's got 10 toes.
Right, but...
No amputee. And they say, but she had a nub.
But...
The nub is gone. The amputee world is going to say, nah.
But if you were to lose a leg, that doesn't guarantee that these fetishists are coming after you.
Oh, they absolutely would in a second.
It just gets you invited to the party.
If I'm missing a leg and with this smile and my cute little beard, I'd go right to the top of the list on that amputee fetish world.
I don't know. This works as it stands. Does it work the same with one leg? I don't know.
In the amputee world, it does.
I don't appreciate the jokes since my daughter is a member of
I don't think she gets to make the amputee jokes.
Oh, she does. I've been looking at T-shirts.
Oh, Lord.
I found a Dude Where's My Toe T-shirt on Amazon.
That's cute.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did.
You ought to get it for her. That's cute.
But I don't see any argument that she's not an amputee. Yes, it's just a technicality.
Did you get to keep it?
I don't know. I think I could have, but the bone was so small.
They never let you have anything. Isn't that bullshit?
That's not
when
true.
they took out my knee and I got to I said,
for it.
Could I get my knee?
You've got to push because when our first daughter was born, it was at the beginning of the time when people were freeze drying their placentas and putting them in pills, and on the theory that there are a lot of hormones in there that help with postpartum depression. We did that, and
what helps with the throwing up
postpartum depression.
That's correct.
But it worked.
They were.
I know, but I mean, what helps with the nightmares knowing that you've eaten your own placenta?
We weren't. Well, is she technically a cannibal then?
We're not doctors. We can't answer those questions.
I got an odd family. If I got a cannibal and an amputee, I'm living with. You keep sleeping with one eye open.
Do we got a sandwich that we can get? Let's at least start on a sandwich.
I'm hungry.
These are all hot sandwiches today, so I am very excited. And I don't know which one we're going to start with, but there's one in particular that I'm very excited about. There's one called the Mad. Which one did you pull out? Do you know? I'm very excited about the Mad BLT because it's a BLT, but it's got crunchy peanut butter on it, and I can't figure out in my mind how they came up with that. What do you got there?
No clue.
Yeah, there's plates right there.
It looks like there's turkey on it.
Okay, so that's the voodoo dip. The voodoo dip is Cajun turkey, hot pepper cheese, Trinity remoulade, fresh parsley, and voodoo jus.
There's the voodoo jus.
Voodoo jus.
I like
Do we each get a
voodoo
voodoo jus?
Nope.
Oh, this is to share?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. All right,
It's fine. I'm just going to put in
double
one.
dipping in the voodoo jus.
Or you could pour it.
I'm not pouring voodoo jus. Maybe I'll dip. Can we dip in the voodoo jus?
That's my new thing. Just wanted to try it out.
What was
I
the
didn't mean to
question
throw
that
it
I
at
said
you,
I was
Jen.
going to ask you online.
You didn't tell us.
I don't know. I thought I said, let's save
You were
it.
going to write it
I said,
down?
let's save it for
I
the
remember
podcast.
that.
I said, I want to ask you on there and get the answer on there. This is what happens.
No, believe me.
We have, you lose out on so much of the brilliance because most of it happens off screen.
You know what?
And then by the time we get on
I try
screen,
very hard.
This is just what I
really
always
nothing.
tell people. Keep a diary.
I keep extensive. In fact, what was it?
This
There was
actually
something
looks
just.
great.
Oh, I remember. Every time I have something, I make a little note, and it's very frustrating because, like, I saw you over the weekend, and I was like, "Oh my God, did I tell?" And I was like, I can't tell you. Got to save it for the
You
pod.
can't-
Try the voodoo juice.
Hey, folks.
You think licking your fingers is bad manners?
Yes.
Not a KFC.
Encouraged there. I have a little follow up. Remember the Tize Tazakai?
This is fantastic.
Tize
Wait,
Tazakai
guys,
guy.
take a bite of that. I want to hear what you think.
It's good.
Yeah, you sent it to me. I thought it was funny.
The what?
It's a Saikai.
There's a guy who pronounced tzatziki Tize Tazakai that we talked about. And what I found out was there are people who are purposely mispronouncing words like that because everyone jumps in the comments and it helps the algorithm.
I heard that people intentionally always put an obvious error inside their lists where they're listing like actors. They intentionally put an incorrect picture in, so it's not the actor they're talking about,
So dumb.
just to get the engagement of people saying, that's not even a picture of Brad Pitt.
Right.
That's Bernie Mac.
This is pretty good.
So just to put a bow on her surgery, she goes into surgery, and
That was a damn good sandwich.
Steph and I take a walk outside, getting my steps in. Oh my God.
What is it?
You're running like a switchboard. Do you have
Still looking at you.
are you like
still looking
operating
at
some
you.
sort of call center?
You got to make a few bucks when you get.
And I was joking around with some friends via text about some stuff, making some jokes, like toe and eye puns. And it was funny, whatever. And I'm laughing. And she gets all mad. She says, "You're over there yucking it up and you're happy while she's in surgery and blah, blah, blah. You shouldn't be happy. You shouldn't be having fun." And I was like, why? She's having life-changing surgery. She's going to be fine. And this is a great moment. And she says, you just shouldn't be having fun. And then she says, let's talk about redoing the house and how you'll never do it and blah, blah. I was like, wait a minute. So we can't enjoy ourselves. We can only talk about something that is going to create hostility between us. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is insane. Then I went back to texting toe puns.
Why do they do that?
I'm totally going to get another
Is
sandwich.
there any more of that sandwich? That was good.
I think there might be some. There's another right on that end there. Yeah, that, folks,
That was good.
the voodoo dip, that Cajun turkey sandwich, all of us, I don't know about Andy, but Terry and I love that sandwich.
That was good.
I spelled EYE did too.
There you go. Another eye pun.
Yeah.
He's all over that.
They work a lot better in writing.
What does she want to do with your house? What's wrong with your house? I've been to your house. It looks totally fine as is.
Well, you haven't been there in a while, but there are some issues.
Was there a fire? It looked great. I was there.
No, but there was a
within
dog.
a year.
Here's what it is. There's a dog that when he was a puppy kind of destroyed one of our couches. And our kids are not really the most respectful children and will eat all over it and stuff
Including
like that.
the amputee?
So it sounds like you need.
Leave her out of this.
It sounds like you need a couch.
We need a couch. But she's very upset about the couch. She wants a new couch. I mean, listen, it is. We redid our house about 10 plus years ago.
But you're not
it could
talking
use
about,
a refresh. We haven't painted it in 10 years.
All right.
How often do you paint a house?
I don't know. How often do you clean your sheets? I do mine about the same as I paint the house.
No, I know you. You've touched up paint in 10 years.
Well, there's a difference in painting your house.
Wait. Which sandwich is? Oh,
touching
this is the
This
French
is the French dip.
Now, does this also use the
do
voodoo
your
dip?
own wash?
This uses
Laundry?
the French dip.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who else is going to do my laundry?
You
Jeez.
may take it to a laundry.
No. You
This
throw it in the
will
wash. It takes
come
no
as
time,
no
and then you put it in the
surprise.
dryer, and it takes no time.
But I don't do my own laundry. I mean, I shouldn't say that.
Do you take it somewhere? Does someone pick it up to use a service? Who's doing your laundry?
I'd rather not say.
Oh, Lord. There you go, folks. There you have it.
EYE.
I'm not going to judge. We all have things we don't like to do.
It's not that I can't do my laundry.
I would hope that it's not that.
I certainly do
this
it.
is not a challenging thing.
Right, but like if I'm going on vacation tomorrow and I need a pair of pants that are dirty, I can certainly throw them in and wash them.
And is that a drama for you?
Is this real roast
a
beef?
trauma?
No, like a dramatic thing to have to
No.
like run and do your pants.
Is this
'cause they're
real
due
roast
tomorrow.
beef?
As opposed to like
Well, there was
a
some talk
vegetable
earlier about
substitute.
yeah.
No, this is real roast beef. There was a meatball that was, I think, vegetarian. And we had to clarify the rule. The rule is if there's meatball on the menu, we get it, a meatball sandwich. But since
theirs
this
was
one was vegetarian,
meatballs.
there was some confusion. We have since cleared that up.
Is there anywhere a set of written rules we have? I wasn't familiar.
We have not put them in writing. Now, for me, I'm not a big French dip guy.
Except for that one.
Yeah. If we're out in Rock Hill Grill,
Yeah.
that
in
nice
Kansas
slice.
City.
Yeah, because that's prime rib.
That is a fantastic sandwich.
This is okay, but coming on the heels of that turkey, a little bit of a drop for me. That turkey really set the bar.
Well, there was a good
Quite high.
multiple good sauces on
quite
it.
high.
It was a good sandwich.
Have you ever heard the story? My dad and I were talking this weekend about this guy who, and you may know more. I'm making up half of this, but it's basically the story. A Russian man who, I guess during the Cold War, there was an indication on their radar systems that the United States had launched a nuclear attack and there were all these incoming missiles. I have no idea how this could have possibly happened. And so the order was given, okay, launch a retaliatory nuclear strike on the United States. And he just had a feeling that the radar was wrong and that there was no, and I'm sure he had some intelligence or whatever, but they were telling him, launch the missiles. And he didn't. And it turns out he was right that the United States had not attacked Russia with nuclear weapons. But this man, by disobeying orders just on his own, really saved the world.
Well, you know
That's
what?
a pretty remarkable.
It
How many
is,
people?
and you know, it's kind of like Crimson Tide. Remember the movie Crimson Tide with
Vaguely.
Denzel Washington, Gene Hackman? Really good movie. Tony Scott, I think, directed it.
Difference is that's a movie.
It is, but it was sort of played on that same idea that they were on a submarine and they had gotten word that we were under attack and that we were supposed to launch nuclear weapons. And then they were in the middle of getting a new transmission, and then their signal got cut out. And the question was, do they stick forward with the last completed message that they got, which was launch, or do they hold off knowing that there was a new message coming and they didn't get it completed that might have told them, call it off?
Huh.
And we're talking, this is the brink of the rest of the world. You had the old school thinking of Gene Hackman of, we go with the last order that we got because that's how we do things. And then you had the younger officer and Denzel Washington saying, this is it's irresponsible. I mean, this is the entire world in our hands right now. There was another message coming. We know it was coming. We have to try to get that message before we do this. Great cast. If you haven't seen it,
Well,
watch it. Because when those two are going at it together, you're watching two of the best actors of the 20th century.
did anybody
going
watch
head to head.
Goodfellas, our homework assignment this week?
I so told you I watched it recently.
No. We were supposed to rewatch it this week.
But I mean, I
never heard
literally
that.
just watched it.
I never heard that.
I
son.
didn't. None of us did. I didn't think we did. I forgot about it too.
I don't remember.
Why don't we
I
make
don't-
it Crimson
Chapter
Tide
and verse.
instead?
No, you know
we
we
should
do?
watch
But
Crimson
remember, we
Tide.
were looking for
Yeah.
some unique angle.
Let's do a GoFundMe to bring this guy, to find him and bring him here.
Oh, the
and give
Russian
him,
guy?
And give him a party.
The Russian guy?
Yeah.
He's been dead for 22 years.
I mean,
I don't know.
I would guess he's long dead,
Well, then his son.
but we'll find out. The Russians may well have
They say,
executed
tell us all
him.
How
about your
could-
dad, and he
how-
just starts breaking into
how
Russian.
could-
He don't speak a
how
lick
could this
English.
guy-
This was not
how
well
Do you think
could-
there's
thought
anyone
out.
else who has saved the world in that meaningful
no,
of a
probably
capacity?
not. Probably not.
You know what? But there had to have been some.
Let me
there,
tell
there
you-
are little things like that I bet you go
Let
on.
me tell you an addendum story to that.
I'm going to grab a sandwich while you're
grab
telling
it.
it.
I'm very excited
I have
about
a-
this peanut butter and BLT thing.
I have a very good friend who, during his military career, was in the Air Force and was a missile officer in a silo up in the Dakotas. And he said that he thought most of them would never launch.
if they went
If
to
push
launch
came
them,
to shove, they
why,
would.
why would it? What was the rationale that they just sat there
They just
dormant
wouldn't.
for so long?
They
Deferred
wouldn't, they
maintenance.
wouldn't enter the. They wouldn't kill that many people. Now I don't know
How
if
many countries right now have nuclear weapons, nuclear
China?
bombs?
The United States,
Does
Russia?
Iran?
the Soviet Union, Israel, Pakistan, India.
Are you reading this?
No, but he
No.
knows this stuff.
Does
I'm
Iran
dead.
have one?
Not
No,
yet.
no, we've been doing everything we
But
can
they're
to prevent
I mean,
close,
it.
those,
right?
somebody look at that up. Jen, could you look that up?
How many countries have a
That's
nuclear
6.
weapon?
That's
North Korea?
England,
And how do
France.
how do we justify which countries we allow to have one and which ones we don't?
well,
I mean,
we-
I think what happens is they get one and we don't have a choice. We
and
can't.
North Korea.
which one is this? The BLT
Is
that we've
North
been waiting
Korea-
on, or
May
is this
well
the
be
Reuben? This looks
Is
like
North-
the pastrami
I see
Reuben.
bacon.
Wait, what did I miss?
9. No, but I'm seeing a lot of coleslaw on there.
Oh, I got them all.
How did Pakistan get one before some
I
other
think this
countries?
is the pastrami Reuben.
I think pretty much whatever India can do, Pakistan can do. They're mortal enemies.
Well,
They're
wait a
pretty.
second.
They're right next to each other.
They were
I don't know what this is.
one country at one point, correct?
I don't know. Maybe.
Guys, I'm confused. I don't know which one this is.
I don't like it as much. They're all good,
No,
but this is
one I like better than the.
That's the peanut butter.
It is?
Yeah,
I don't
I can
taste.
taste it.
I can't.
I'm not getting any peanut butter in my bite.
I'm picking up a read here. Without a doubt.
You ever been to India?
I mean,
Where?
India?
No, but I'd really like to go to India.
I wonder.
Have you been to India?
I have not, but I always kind of had. I read a book about a guy who lived in the slums. In the slums in like Mumbai, they have maybe 2 or 3 million people in these communities. They have running water. They have governments.
Yeah.
I mean, they're real settlements.
Now I got the peanut butter. That was good. I like that. You don't like that one? You don't like peanut butter?
No. But I'd like to go to India. Where would you like to go if you go one
You know what?
place?
I would order that.
Only one
That's a good
place.
sandwich.
If you had to take a trip.
A region or a country? Or a city?
I mean, I would say a country at least.
For how long? Like going off the grid to live? Or just a quick visit?
Just a trip, as long as you want it.
Um,
You have a bucket list location.
I would say, I don't know if I'd be that dramatic about it, but I would really like to go to Thailand, Vietnam. I would really like to go to Korea. I think Seoul would be a really cool city.
A lot of Asia on your list.
Well, I've found traveling in Asian countries it's I don't know. I think there is a culture in Asian countries that has been preserved in ways that areas of the Western, even you go to Europe and basically there's a shopping mall like the United States.
I want to be on some kind of countryside, and I want to do my writing. I started a new screenplay.
No, I didn't know that.
I can't talk about it, during the podcast because I want to protect my.
Of course.
My
Although
idea
maybe that's
until
the way
it's completed.
to protect your copyright.
Let's just say it's a revenge tale, and I'll leave it at that. I got rolling with it just recently.
How many pages?
It's off to a hot start.
4.
Well, I mean, by the time it's done, I'm imagining I would like
Title
to
page,
be able
table
to.
of
I would like to
contents.
bring it in at about an hour and 45 minutes of runtime. I don't like movies that are much longer than that, unless they're really, really good.
Oh,
But
I
you see,
have
a
them.
good revenge tale shouldn't take that long to tell. It
I
should
have-
set up the offense, set up the journey, execute the revenge.
I have the perfect place for you to go.
Where's that?
The Cotswolds in England.
Ooh.
No,
That's the English
no. The
countryside.
food's terrible
Beautiful.
there. You go to Tuscany.
Yeah, but I think
Get
the
yourself some real
Cotswolds
food.
That's a
has that
pastrami Reuben right there.
bucolic-
Look at that. That's neatly, nicely stacked.
Do you know the word bucolic?
Sure.
Yeah, like a farm like.
Yeah, that's the Cotswolds.
I think Tuscany probably has similarly bucolic
But they're
scenery.
speaking your language.
It does help. I could see, what about Ireland? I could see like an Irish countryside
Yeah.
with castles in the background, like from Game of Thrones. And I'm just sitting there with my free write, typing away.
Tuscany.
With your what?
My free write. Oh, it's a thing designed for people who want to write without distraction. And it allows you to just type. It's like almost like the old word processors in that it will sync when you're at available Wi-Fi. You don't need Wi-Fi. It'll sync, but it doesn't allow for any editing, and you can't go on any other things. So you have no opportunity to go on the internet. Can't get distracted. It's
What about
just
formatting?
there to keep
What-
typing.
but you can't.
What about formatting?
Can't edit on there. No,
But
what it does
happens
is
if you make a mistake?
you just keep going. That's the whole theory behind the free write is you just
Wait,
keep
you
going.
can have even backspace?
Nope. Well, you could backspace, but you can't do all full editing. And then what happens is it automatically syncs with whatever other software you want to use. And when you want to edit,
Go back and
you
clean
go
it
into
up.
the document, in like Dropbox, and then you can do your editing. This is designed to keep you
Just get it
moving
flowing.
forward, get it out, keep going, get it out of your system, fix it later.
That makes a lot of sense because you can get trapped in the formatting and trying to make all that
myself
perfect.
as I was setting the stage for the beginning of the screenplay and setting the scenes. You get caught up with, do I want to set up the characters in here yet? Do I need to figure out what their names are going to be? How much do I need to flesh out who they are, ages, personality wise, or do I just kind of set it up a little bit now? Let's set the stage, get into the dialogue. I want to start writing. I don't want to just set the stage. I'll go back and do more of that later. I can picture it in my head. I just don't want to write it all out now.
Safe to assume I inspired one of the characters.
Not yet, but that's not to say that you wouldn't. But nobody that I've written so far.
The guy who did our first commercial.
That Reuben's very good.
You ever meet him?
And they give you a lot of meat, too. That is not a chintzy sandwich.
Maybe too much even.
Have you guys ever met the guy that did our first commercials?
What do you mean?
I'm sure I
Produced
did at
them,
some
directed
point.
them?
Do you remember the Street Smart Law?
Yeah, of course.
I have those. I got those on video.
The guy who did them.
You know what? Send him to Steven. Insert him right here.
Okay, yeah. Watch these. You want to see a young Terry doing the very first batch of commercials that we ever had. We're talking, these were in the 80s.
Well, it was Ron on 'em, too.
Ron did one, and you had originally a couple of other partners. They did
We
them too.
were on them.
But we won't show you those. We'll
But
just show
it
you
was
the ones that Ron and
interesting
Terry.
because he eventually ended up suing Steven Spielberg over the idea of Twisters, or Twister. He said he had. You're talking about copyright.
Yeah, but I mean,
I think the jury awarded him $1, but they did find in his
He
favor.
won.
I wonder when it comes to that, because I think a lot of people can come to the similar idea independent of each other. just because we're living in the same world with the same kind of stimuli and we watch the same things.
Well, and tornadoes aren't.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, the idea of storm chasers, let's do a movie about storm chasers. If that's all he gave them, that's really not much.
Am I correct that there was a movie called Twister?
Yes.
And then very recently there was a movie called
sequel.
Twisters.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a sequel. Okay.
Yeah, 28 years later.
Got it.
I didn't go to see the new one.
I saw it.
I didn't care for the old one.
I saw it. It was, the effects were really stunning.
Bunch of crap blowing around, I take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go, folks. That's a tornado.
I was
But they had a number of scenes where somebody is like trying to get away, and they just get whisked.
Wait, so you saw which one?
Your fingers, you're like a toddler.
Is he licking
who's
his
just
fingers?
eating a thing of cotton
No,
candy.
I'm sorry. I was given a very messy sandwich.
You were.
and doing the best I could.
No,
with it.
I listen. I think we're just going to have to get you in a bath.
No,
That's
let
what we
me
used to
let
say
me
to the
look at
kids
your
when they'd be
fingers. Look
covered.
at his
I know,
fingers.
but they're not
are
glistening.
No,
Yours are like
his
the sun.
hands are glistening.
It's like staring at the sun. The
Do you hear
reflection
me?
coming off
His
the back of your
hands are
fingers. Let me
glistening.
see your glistening hands.
They're not really glistening. But also I
What
was
the hell's
I
with
was
these
cutting.
open hands?
Um,
They're shining.
We're glistening.
lotion.
We're glistening. People.
what the hell? My hands are bone dry.
well, you got a lotion once the weather turns.
We may have to kill you. You've observed it and told the world about it.
Oh Lord.
I don't
Andy?
want to give too much detail, but the other day
Yeah.
I was sitting down
Wow.
and
That could be. That's
was,
the beginning of a movie.
There it
was-
is.
I was-
Maybe I should take notes.
I was going to the bathroom
Whoa, even better.
and I looked down
Where do you look down?
At his toes. His
to my
feet.
down to the ground. I was reaching to pick up my pants, and I see this in my underwear.
Oh Lord. Oh yeah. Was
An
that
inchworm.
It's an inchworm.
Now,
Did he leave your underwear because he saw that there was already an inchworm living in
What'd
there?
you do with you? I hope you took him outside.
yeah. Well, you look.
get-
He's on
get
a
that
piece of
little
paper.
reference
That's
there?
I don't wear.
Good.
It's a small penis reference.
No. It's an inchworm. And
No, but I'm
and
saying he left because he
you
saw there was
see it
already an
on
inchworm living there.
a paper towel. Unless my underwear are made of paper towels, it's on a paper towel. And yes,
little
of course, I
scary.
took it outside. But inchworms are really kind of cool. They really walk like that.
They're amazing.
No, but I wonder how
I
many
haven't seen
people.
one since kindergarten, but
How many people random off the street who found themselves in the situation that Andy found himself in would have gone to the trouble of getting a napkin, picking up the insect and removing it safely outside and
I
letting
think
it
a
go?
lot.
I
What are you
don't-
going to do? Just toss it in the toilet?
Yeah,
yeah,
I think that-
most people
I think
would have,
the
especially under these
great
circumstances.
The great
You
majority
mean
of
because
people-
it had invaded my
It had
personal
invaded
space?
your personal
Yes,
space.
there's a
It had
certain-
come within 18
there's
inches
a
of you.
certain revenge factor.
Nah. What is
How
your?
dare he?
I have a theory.
No, I think
I'm with
more
you.
than 50%.
Without
would have
question.
I think probably 70 or 80%.
Who the hell's taking
would
that
have killed it.
inchworm outside?
Me?
Yeah, you, but you're in a house. A lot of people
What's
live
your
in
theory?
apartments. You're in an
Wait, our
apartment. No one's
audience.
taking that damn thing
what
outside.
would you have done? Would the audience
Yeah.
have,
Weigh in on the
You're
comments.
sitting on the toilet. You look down, and in your underwear, you see an inchworm. Do you befriend it?
Now this is not
and
an.
then take it
It's not an.
outside?
It's not an earthworm.
No, it's the
a
kind
ve-
that goes-
It's very,
Yeah.
very
You know,
small.
It's just a little inchworm.
but
It's
it's
an inch.
clearly.
That's why they call
I
it
think the great majority of people would kill it.
I
I
think
don't know.
you've collected it. I think you.
Weigh
I
in.
think you squeeze it in some toilet paper,
And that
chuck
would
it in
be-
the
that
toilet
would
with the
be
rest
a-
of your
if you-
waste.
If you
And-
ever watched the astronauts and the movies that they shot back from the various locations of the Earth, just hanging in all that blackness with nothing, no life anywhere, and you see this little ball, this little blue ball, and on that, against all odds, is life. You just feel bad. I mean, this is one of. God, how long would you?
One of God's creatures.
Well, how
Yeah,
far
but-
would you have to go to find another one or anything like it?
It is
I mean,
amazing.
it's
and
a
yet,
wonder.
And
It'd
yet
be
it has
like a
no
friend,
business
like in that Tom-
Andy's underwear.
in that Tom
Sorry.
Hanks movie, you'd just be Wilson. The inchworm would just be your little friend if you
No,
found
I mean,
it
but
floating
it's
in
such
space.
a miracle. It's almost such a sin to end that. It's so rare.
Why would I kill an inchworm?
No, you know
Here's
what?
my theory,
You
because
wouldn't.
you
but
may
I think
ask,
a lot of people would.
How did it get in your underwear?
Yeah, I mean, listen,
Here's
what
my
you do
theory.
in your time.
I drive a convertible.
Yeah.
And so what I'm thinking is it somehow got on my pants.
Yeah.
And when I pulled my pants down, it crawled up over the waistband into the drawers.
You know,
You don't
I
think it went up the pant leg?
Could have.
Nah.
I just feel so
I
bad
think you're really
that,
onto
that the
something,
inchworm, you know.
What am
I
I on to?
Well, I mean that inchworm. Ugh.
You
was
may
he thinking?
rather have been dead.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
Please kill
what
me.
was he thinking?
No, you gave him you saved his life.
Second
and,
chance.
And frankly,
We all
as-
deserve a second chance.
I'm shocked if I saw somebody kill it.
Let's
Not
rank
that
the-
I would be disappointed. I'd be
I
disappointed.
feel compelled to rank the 4 sandwiches just for the hell of it.
Go
I'm
for it.
putting the
Really?
turkey for me was number
For
1.
sure.
For me, number 2 was the Mad BLT. For me, number 3 was the Reuben.
Yeah. Or the
And
French
bringing
dip.
up 4 was the French dip.
Yeah,
That wasn't
I'll
a
give
great
that
French dip, but it was a phenomenal voodoo dip. The turkey sandwich,
but
phenomenal.
they're nice people.
You've never met them.
Who, these
Or
people?
are we back to the
The
inchworm?
Jovick brothers?
No, no, they're nice people.
Well, I like
mean,
that they're brothers.
you know, they're brothers. They created
Or
a
is it just called
pamphlet.
that?
Yeah, I would like to believe that you know, I don't think you just call a place
They went
Jovick
to the
Brothers if
trouble
they
of
weren't-
making a pamphlet.
Well, maybe it was
Brothers.
named
Did
after
you
their
ever- did you go to this
grandfather
place?
and uncle.
Those are brothers.
Great
Have you
uncle.
seen the premises? Or
You know, I think I saw it once from the outside. It was near a place that, well, it says it's next to the Trainwreck Saloon. So you know where that is in Westport Plaza. Yeah, the Trainwreck at Westport. That's been there forever.
It has.
They're decent
Boy,
burgers.
that's a
Those are
weird.
old-school
That's a
burgers.
weird place.
Westport?
When was the last time you were in Westport Plaza?
Actually, not that long ago.
It's been a long time for me.
No, I was there for a wedding no, it was the Italian Open. They have a golf tournament on the hill, and then they have a big dinner.
How come they do a golf tournament on the hill? We don't have
Well,
a
they
golf
don't.
course.
They had the golf tournament during the day, and then they have a big gala in the evening. But it was out at the.
So, but
what's
if
the
the
name of the
golf was
hotel
not
out
on the
there?
hill and the food was not on the hill, what does that have anything to do with the hill?
That's
the
a hell of a
hill
question.
had a golf tournament, and then in that evening they had a gala at a hotel, not on the hill because I don't think there are any hotels on the hill, but at Westport Plaza they had the gala at the what's the name of the hotel out there?
There's 2, right? There's the Sheridan.
Maybe
I
it
don't
was
know.
at the Sheraton.
That just seems strange to me.
Well, I'll bring it up.
Me
with
too.
you.
I mean, you would think that if the hill was going to do
There's
something,
somewhere
why
between
don't they
here
do
and
it on the
there.
hill?
Yeah.
I can't answer that.
I wonder where they did the golf tournament.
I was just responding.
Well, there's
to,
no golf course on the hill either.
There's not, but there's a ton of golf carts.
There
are.
So
But
there's
I was
that.
just
they
responding
took the best part of golf and
to
they
the
brought it to the hill.
query. Have you been on the hill? Or
Oh,
have you been
to
in Westport?
When was the last
recently?
time you were in Westport?
What is the?
I feel like there's a lot of new stuff there
What's
that we
that
have to go and
social
check out.
club? That social
Westport
club?
Social.
Social Club. You know what? Actually, that's the last time I was at Westport.
Oh, I haven't been there. It's been longer for me. It's been a
we
very
went
long
to
time.
we did some after work event there.
I think I went to the
I was there. What was the name of that gal that we had that was our recruiting person? Well, Kevna.
Yeah.
Yes, I was there. I remember Kevna was there.
I don't think I went. I went last
I
probably when
thought
I
it
ate
was-
at the the place where they
I
do
thought it
the
was
the
Eva Braun.
volcano on the grill and the
Who did that?
the Benihana.
Oh, the
Yeah,
Yeah,
That
it's
was a
not
long
many-
time.
Yeah,
it's
it's been a long-
Robata of Japan.
That was one of your
No,
birthdays,
now it's
wasn't
something
it?
else.
and do you know what? I have never
Oh.
had a bad meal at a teppanyaki.
Is
or
it?
whatever.
No, it's not teppanyaki. It's
Whatever,
what's the
teppen-
word? I can't. Hibachi.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's hibachi. I think
No?
it's teppanyaki.
No, it's not teppanyaki.
Anyway, I
Teppanyaki is
have
a
never had
skewer,
a bad
I
meal
think.
at one of those places.
You mean like a Benihana type,
Yes,
Yeah,
I
that's
love
it.
those.
where they cook it in front of you?
I
Yeah.
love those. I
They do
love
What's
the-
that called?
I
What
love
They do
is,
the Tower of
I
Onions.
love the cooking.
No, the name of the style.
Yeah, well, it's Tower of Onions, yeah.
Yeah, and they make the little
But
smoked
I
up.
just think the food is so good at those places.
You ever see the sketch on Saturday Night Live where Jonah Hill is playing a young boy going out with his single dad and his single dad's girlfriend? and they go to one of those little hibachi style Benihanas. Hysterically funny. I think
Oh,
people
really?
forget how
this says
hysterically funny.
What
teppanyaki.
happened to him, though?
I think he's hysterically funny.
I stand
I
corrected.
think he's
Has
one
he
of the
been in
funniest guys.
anything?
Who?
It
Jonah Hill.
seems like
I think he's hysterical.
It seems like his career is sort of in a lull.
I don't know. I like that. Did you watch that movie he did on Netflix?
What was it called?
He was dating that
black
that guy, the
woman?
black gal, and his he was Jewish. His Julia Louis-Dreyfus was his mother, and I think
No, but it sounds good.
Eddie Murphy was the gal's father.
Yeah, that was weird because it wasn't really a big part or a good part. He wasn't funny at all.
I loved that movie. I
No,
thought
but
that was
Eddie
great.
Murphy wasn't.
Oh, it
didn't
was a
do
smaller
much.
part, but it
Yeah,
was.
but
It was a good
why would
movie.
Eddie Murphy do that?
It's a comedy. It was on Netflix. They
But
probably
he
paid
wasn't
him well.
funny. He wasn't. He didn't have any. I don't recall any humor on his part. It just seemed. He
What's
was
it called? You don't know.
miscast.
No, that's the one piece of information I'm missing.
That's easy to look
Just
up.
look up Jonah Hill.
I thought it was a pretty good movie.
I'll check it out.
you
I'm
know
always
what's- you know
looking
what's
for
a
Who
lost.
really-
this week was James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
That was sad. 93. I mean, he had a good long life.
What
But
we-
still.
He's most remembered for being the voice of Darth Vader.
I think that's probably the
What
thing
is
at the
the
top
next
of his.
thing he's remembered for?
Yeah, Mufasa from
Did he-
Lion King.
did
What about
he
the
win-
commercial he did?
Did he
what
win
was the
a,
famous
I
I think
commercial?
Field of Dreams, the People Will Come speech
Did he win
gets
an
played a lot.
Academy
it was-
Award?
Never won an Oscar.
What about?
I think he might have.
This is CNN. That's his voice.
I think. Look,
He's
Jen,
never
would
won,
you
he's never
look
won an
up?
Academy Award.
I thought I heard
He's never
some,
won one. He was nominated years ago.
Well, maybe it was
Did he
just
win a
nominated.
Grammy? Did he do any
Yeah, I'm sure he won.
audiobooks
I'm sure
or
he
something?
won.
It's such a
if,
great
if he
voice.
didn't, that would be a god awful shame with that voice.
Do you think he hated Morgan Freeman?
He had one of the great voices.
Do you think he always was saying, "God damn it, that Morgan Freeman got another one of my
Morgan's
jobs"?
he's got a good voice too. You know, he's not a young man either. I feel terrible that so many of our legends. I'm very grateful that they've had these long lives.
We need new legends.
But when you look at the number of legends
Who would
that
be
are
a new
over
legend?
85,
John Legend.
who you
Does he
went
have
to
an
see
EGOT?
the other night.
Does he have an EGOT?
He is. He's an EGOT winner.
He is.
But
the
you went to
concert-
see him the other night.
Yeah. It was really,
You were
really.
spotted by one of my friends.
Oh,
She
really?
took a picture,
Okay.
and all that we could make out of you was the bushy top of your head. We could see Steph. She was blocking the view because the picture was taken from your right.
Okay.
And I believe that at the moment the picture was taken, I believe Patrick Bader, a former lawyer here, was walking past you. Did
With
you
a
happen to
knife.
notice him? Did you happen to notice him?
I did not.
I'm almost positive it was him. So when my friend sent me the picture, she said, "Oh, guess who we saw?"
And you said
I
Patrick
responded, I'm
Bader.
like, "Patrick Bader?" She's like, "No, I thought that was Andy." I'm like, and then I looked at
We
it
don't look a
closely,
lot
and I'm
alike.
like, "No." And then I saw the top
And
of
our
your
moral
of your
compass
hedges.
is very different as well.
Yeah, your hedges were emerging from the other side of what I realized was Stephanie's head. I'm going to show
The
you
show was
picture.
great. I didn't know what to expect. I just assumed. So it was at the Muni. And the Muni, I don't think has had a concert there in like 30 years. They used to do it a lot.
Yes.
And they decided to start it again. And I just assumed it was a concert. I don't think I've ever been to a John Legend concert before, but it was way more than that. It was more of a show. He told his life story. Half the music he sang wasn't his, but kind of went along with the tale he told. It was great, and I thought it really, it was a perfect match for the venue. That's us.
Does that feel weird to know that you've been photographed
Let me see.
against your will?
Happens all the
Do
time.
you see Patrick? And that's, I think, is his son because it looks just like him.
Let me
Next to
see.
him.
Is that Patrick?
But look at his son.
I
mean, that-
can't
No,
see that.
I don't
See,
know.
it's on it's from the side. I can't see it. Oh, yeah.
The picture of him
I wouldn't recognize him.
is fuzzy like his morals.
Yeah. Well.
Andy,
Oh, sorry.
we were just kidding.
Well,
A
I don't think
lovely-
he's kidding, but
lovely-
I think everyone, to some
Lovely
extent,
man.
has
Lovely
fuzzy
man.
morals.
Lovely man.
Let's see.
Maybe not as fuzzy.
And Terry said he's
do
a
you-
lovely man.
Do you
several
think
times.
anyone, a single person out there, has a Browning Crouppen tattoo?
No, and I don't think that we should incentivize people to get one.
Well, that was my next
in
question.
jest. No, did you see that case?
No.
There's a case out there that some radio station said that they would pay $250,000 to the first person who would tattoo their call letters on their forehead. And with that, some guy immediately ran out of there, ran to a tattoo place, had it done nice and bold right
And he was
across here,
second.
ran right down to the station. No, and went and wanted his money. And the station manager's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's on the radio this morning. They said for this money, and they said, yeah, was not an official thing. They weren't
money.
kidding. Well, it's the subject of litigation, and the guy looks ridiculous.
Offer, acceptance.
I mean, I think he's got to,
Wait,
at least
is there an acceptance?
Well, I think the problem is the statute of frauds would say that it probably would need to be in writing.
I would think, yeah, and directly to the station.
No, but you don't do that when there's any other kind of contest.
there could
you don't
be-
get it in writing. I mean,
Yeah.
people do that all the time. They put this basket in, and if you make it from half court,
Yeah,
you get $1
I
million.
guess it's
But
not a
there's
contract.
no
Well, yeah, I
there's
guess
no
it is.
litigation. I'm just saying.
There's certainly reliance.
But what's the acceptance?
The
Well, he
acceptance
did
is
it.
the tattoo.
No, I
is the
understand that,
actual
but
execution.
they have to accept your acceptance.
No,
No.
So
They
what-
made
They
an
make the offer.
He accepted
accepts
via
it.
the tattoo,
That's it.
and then promissory estoppel.
I don't know
He
that.
I think
relied.
there
I
could
don't
be
know
some
that.
sort of reliance issue
well,
that
that's the
would.
estoppel.
Yeah, I think. I
We'll
don't
see
know.
what happens. But my point is we're not asking you to do this. That said, if any of you do have a Brown and Crouppen tattoo, even
We
if
would
it's
love
just
to
our
see
Brown
it.
and Crouppen
Although,
button,
wait, but that's a different scenario because that's just a bunch of. Let me say this: we are not offering
We're not
anything
offering
for
any
anyone to
money.
get a tattoo. But if we did, we would pay them. So we don't have a legal problem. How about this? We are not offering.
No,
and
we're
we
not
don't want
offering. And
anybody
we're
to
not
get a
paying
tattoo.
$250,000.
But hypothetically, would it be ethical to ask some?
Steven's got a tattoo.
There he is. Already, he just went out and got it.
I don't know if that
be
counts. That's a ballpoint pen. I see him filling it in from here.
Do you have any ethical issue with paying someone to get a tattoo to permanently alter their body to get a
I'm sure it
tattoo?
happens all the time.
No, a lot of unethical things happen. That's a lot of people. Right, but I'm asking: is it ethical? Is there an ethical issue with doing that?
I think, listen, I don't think there's an ethical issue. I think that, of course, there's an ethical issue if people are doing it against their will.
No,
If-
but just like
it's the same ethical issue of buying somebody's hair. I mean, you know that they don't really want to sell their hair, but you're taking advantage of their financial desperation.
Or like
and there's
buying their kidney.
inherently, there's the same thing. That's an inherent ethical issue.
if you were going to, what would you pay? If we were
have
going
somebody-
to do a contest where we would say, and it wouldn't be the first, because I think that's a really crappy thing to
It would
do.
really depend on if they were putting it prominently or somewhere where it had good visibility.
Forearm.
Forum's,
Summertime.
Forum's a good one.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I would certainly pay for the tattoo.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the tattoos ain't cheap.
No.
What does
Although
your
it's-
most expensive tattoo cost?
Well, I'd have to add them up because I think the serial sleeve on the leg, by the time all was said and done, was probably about $3,300.
Yeah, but
that's
also,
expensive.
had you gotten that same tattoo at like,
In New
you know,
York?
somewhere in New York or
Way
LA,
more,
that's
way
15
more.
grand.
Yeah,
I'll bet.
way more. Yeah.
Wow.
They get very, well, listen, it's a lot of time by people who are talented artists.
There are, including Matt Thornton at a More Tattoo, who recently won
Not
Best
just
Tattoo
talented.
Artist.
Can you?
He's the best.
He is. He
you-
won the
the winner.
Sam
Do you
Headliner
need
Award.
to be a excellent artist?
You do.
I mean, drawer.
You
I
really
think
do.
so.
You really do.
Yeah.
So
You know
you
what,
can't
I-
just do it with
Well,
stencils.
No, you
and-
can't.
You
No,
can,
can't
but
be
it's not
great.
gonna
You-
come out
you're-
very
yeah,
good.
You can't be great at it.
You're not going to win an award.
You know who the great ones are. I've said this before, but when you were in school, there were always a few kids that were constantly doodling in their notebooks in pen, and you'd look over,
Yeah.
and you're like, Jesus,
How
they
the
look
hell
like
did you do-
they're
Yeah.
comic book artists.
Yeah.
And they weren't great students necessarily, and sometimes they were kind of outcasty, kind of loners. And you saw that notebook, and you're like, man, what are they doing? And those are the people that become tattoo artists. And
You know,
they're-
I wish
they're-
I could draw like
they're-
that.
Oh, of course, it's a gift. It's an absolute gift. Oh, you know what I purchased today, but I haven't gotten it yet. Maybe I'll wait until it comes before I'll bring it in and do a demo.
I think that'd be good.
They made a guitar.
Wait, I thought you were
no,
waiting
but they
to
made a
tell us.
guitar that lives somewhere between a Guitar Hero guitar and a real guitar. So
Oh,
what
yeah.
it does is it has like 8,
Chords.
things instead of 4 or 5. It's got like 8, all the major chords. You still have to play it, but instead of having to position your fingers awkwardly like you would if you were playing guitar for real,
one button
for a chord, and the rest of it plays true. You know, you strum. You don't have to pick. It has a strummer, just like a Guitar Hero guitar, and it's really made more for people who want it to sound like a real guitar and want to sing along to it. It's not necessarily to recreate the experience of being a guitarist.
Yeah, but
so much as
Can you pick out individual notes? Like, what do they call that?
they're chords.
right.
These
But
are
the
for
thing
chords.
is, I mean, if you just want to play a handful of songs, you can learn 8, 10 chords.
You know, you would think that
very
but I've
quickly. I've done it.
I know, but I've tried it and I can't do it. My hands are not.
gotta
My
get the
dexterity
calluses.
is not. That's the problem. Is I can't, and I have little.
You didn't give it enough time.
I didn't
He
give it
has
enough time. That's my
gnarled-
point. Is I want to play it right out of the box. I got
Gnarled,
patience.
horribly deformed digits.
Not like my beautiful
Yeah.
No, it's
Manicured.
I want to. You know, the thing is, I don't really
Shiny.
want to.
shiny.
I would love to know how to play guitar, but I don't want to
Glistening.
learn how to play guitar.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to sit and sing along to
Would
playing
you
a little
pay
guitar.
$10,000 to be able
Yes.
to really play well?
If
Oh, are
I
you
could
kidding?
if I could just write the check and magically
Yes.
I played well, I'd pay a hell of a lot more
Yeah,
than 10
for
grand.
sure.
Would you pay $10,000 to be able to dunk the ball?
No, I don't. I couldn't care less about.
What about a
dunking the ball.
tumbling run?
No, playing an instrument, speaking a foreign language, I would happily pay $10,000 for piano, guitar,
Well,
Spanish.
I'd pay 10 to be able to do a tumbling
Well, only because at your
It'd be
age,
so funny.
Yes, exactly. It would be.
run. I'd be the life of every party.
I bet it'd get
Terry,
old
come
Already
on,
the life
come
of
on
every
out on the
party.
front lawn.
until it got old.
Do the tumble.
Do it. Come on, show him.
Oh,
do you
Jesus, here he
remember-
goes again with
Come
this
on, you
tumbling.
got to make
Do
that
you-
10
do you-
grand back.
Do you remember
Everyone's
when
got the tips out.
John Belushi could do a really good cartwheel?
Yeah, he can do it on stage.
I mean, and he did not look like a human being who could ever do it.
no, but
Was he
you know,
always an out of
you
shape
put, you
guy?
put enough cocaine
I
in
think-
somebody,
I think
they
Chris-
could all do it.
I think Chris Farley might have been able to
And
do
again,
a
you
cartwheel.
put enough cocaine in somebody, they'll do
And
What
it.
if I
was
can do a
really-
cartwheel?
Well, he did a good cartwheel with a full exchange.
Well,
you know,
you got to commit.
Well, you know, Chris Farley was a good ice skater. Did you ever see? They did that in one of the sketches where they had him out there skating. He was very graceful.
Well, he probably
But, you know,
played
grew up-
ice hockey.
Yeah, he grew up north. He played hockey.
In
So
Wisconsin,
did
in
Andy.
Madison.
Yeah.
So did
He,
Andy.
we used to see him every once in a while, not sober, walking around town.
No, apparently finding him sober was very unicorn-like.
Yeah.
that's a shame. I love the guy. I didn't know
I think
him,
a friend of mine,
but
I won't mention his name
he
now.
made me laugh like crazy.
I think Chris Farley was like leaning up against a lamppost, puking, drunk, and I think he grabbed his love handles and kind of shook them around a little bit.
Yeah. Well, that seems like that would
I
have been
was
fun.
running in Madison once,
Yeah.
jogging,
From what?
just jogging, exercise.
No.
And as I have headphones on, and as I pass this guy standing on the street, he says something to me, and I can't hear him. So I take off my head, run back. I said, "I'm sorry, I didn't hear you." He said, "Eat any babies lately?"
That was probably Scanner Dan.
It might have been.
There was- there
It
were-
was the old anti-Jewish trope of we drank the blood and ate. I mean,
Oh,
he was
that
a
was-
lunatic.
that's
Did-
really
would you remember what he looked like?
No.
That's
Because there was
that's
a
really
famous-
old school.
Yeah,
We haven't eaten babies in generations.
Did you have people like that in your college town? Like here, I just look it up. State Street legend Scanner Dan dies at 62. But
If he did that to me, then good. No, I don't.
no,
that
you
the
don't
guy?
remember. But there were people in Madison like sort of mentally ill or developmentally disabled that were just sort of wandering the streets there, who they became a part of the fabric
When
of
I
the
was in-
community.
when I was in-
Everyone knew Scanner Dan.
When I was in grade school, which would have been
He had a scanner,
in the 50s,
which is why they called him that.
we had, and a lot of schools had, a Nazi kid who would sit in the back of the class and be drawing Nazi, war stuff, and he
Why
would.
didn't you beat the shit out of him?
We just sort of thought it was weird, because we didn't know.
There wasn't
He
enough
would
asses
sing
being
Deutschland.
Yeah, but back
beat up
then,
back then.
you would
Uber
think
alles.
but that was in the 50s. That was right on the heels.
I wonder what
those-
happened.
surprised
Those
you
wounds
didn't.
were fresh.
I wonder what happened to him. I wonder if he.
I think he wound up
straightened
running
out.
for president. I think.
Remember
he might
the
have,
Proud Boys?
Yeah,
But we're
I
not-
Think, no,
but
I think
we're
he
not
might have been
political.
what number? Was he 45?
The Proud
Yeah,
Boys.
45, trying to be 47. I don't know.
No, we don't get political on
We
this here
don't, but
show.
listen, he just asked what happened to the boy, and I'm making an
No,
educated guess.
I know his name. I would like to.
What do you
It
think-
would make sense
catch up?
age-wise.
What do you think Barron Trump's experience at NYU is
You know,
like?
first of all, I was very happy to see that he selected NYU and the Stern School of Business because, that's where I went. Mm-hmm. And I only stayed for 1 year before I transferred for economic reasons, but it was a great experience, great school. And I don't know. I think, I don't know what his experience will be, but it's New York. New York's a great place to
but
be. If you
he's
have
got-
money.
well, he's from New York.
But he's also 6'8" or something. He's
very
he's
tall.
screwed.
You know what?
They'll
I
always
listen,
say-
wait, hold
I
on.
have nothing
Unless-
negative to say about him.
Unless he
seems like a
turns
good
out,
kid.
if he
I don't know
turns-
anything about him.
If he turns out to be an exceptionally nice person, he may have a chance.
You know
Wait a
what? I
minute.
think he might. I don't know that
Wait.
He's his own man. I
There
don't
are
judge him
so
based on
many
anybody
people
else.
who have way harder lives than Barron Trump.
Of course
he does, but
because
that
he
doesn't
has
mean he's not
money.
a good person.
But
I don't know
no.
him.
I don't have anything negative to say about him. I don't know anything about
well,
him.
I respect his
I don't want
privacy.
to. I don't want to get political.
But I respect his privacy.
But all I'm
He's
saying
known him
is,
since he was a
I-
little kid.
I wouldn't say anything to him if
but
I saw him.
because of the politics, whatever side you're on, I think it will make his experience, especially in academia, especially in New York, where things, first of all, none of them are well liked in New York City.
I know,
regardless
but
of
I
politics.
would hope
I'm just
that people
curious
would be
what
respectful.
they
He's
won't
his
be.
own human being. He deserves to be
I
given
totally agree.
space to chart
100%.
his own path.
100%
and
agree.
no school children should ever be shot by high-powered rifles.
Of course, that's right.
I mean, I'm just saying you're
No, that's
absolutely
right.
right.
In a
Well,
perfect
listen,
world.
But you know
yeah,
what, though? Here's the thing, though.
You're right. But
You're never going to get to that perfect world if you're not at least yourself committed to the ideals of what that would be.
That's
wait,
true.
but
So
even
you
though-
can't just throw out and say, well, just because there's a bunch of crap that goes on, that excuses I don't have to try to do
I
the
don't
good
think
stuff.
it
No, it
excuses it.
doesn't
I think
excuse
it
it.
informs what might happen.
It's foolish to think that what you know is going to
Yeah.
happen is never going to happen.
I hate to end
But
on
it's what
Barron
should
Trump.
happen.
What do we got? You got anything else before we wrap it up? I feel like we've said a lot.
Anybody ever
Oh.
seen a ghost?
Oh, God.
Now we've
Every
gone
week
through
with
that.
him, you know?
Do you I feel like, do you ever get this experience when you're texting someone and they thank you for something? Does typing your welcome ever feel sort of passive aggressive? Every time I go to type your welcome,
Yeah, because you know why?
it feels weird.
Because you know why? Because you're mildly aggravated in receiving the thank you.
No.
Yeah, you are. You're mildly. It's like it's nice. It's the pleasantries and it's manners and all, but it's like, how many times do you want to? Like, I'm always clearing the notifications. I'm one of those people. I don't like
not
red
me.
circles on my phone. So it's like I'll do something and I finish it out, and all right, they're all gone, and now someone's got to say, KK or thank you.
Yeah.
Or gotcha. And it's like, one more text I got to open and read.
I have 2,636 unread texts.
I have 0.
137,922 unread emails.
I have 0.
511 missed phone calls.
How do you even
I have
tell?
0.
It's
Because it's in the red dot.
Open your phone.
I don't like the red dot having any numbers in that.
Do
I'm
me a
that
favor.
guy. I will not put my phone down
I believe
until
that is
they've all
called
been cleared.
obsessive compulsive disorder.
I have terrible OCD.
Yeah.
This is well documented in every medical record that I have. It's a burden.
It's right there.
Oh, God, you sent it to me? Bastard.
Wait, it's in every medical record?
Yeah, I got OCD all over the place.
Like your
I got a bunch
dentist?
of other letters,
Wait, so
too.
if you're clearing the text, you've just admitted to everyone that you read it you saw it.
I read it.
and ignored it.
Well,
So if you don't respond,
I don't.
it's
I
not
never
'cause you didn't
respond
see
to
it.
a thank you.
No. But
Oh, sometimes I do. I say, you know what? It's a big one for me. Is I say my pleasure. I never
Your
say you're
welcome
welcome.
always feels
I say my
weird.
pleasure.
yeah.
And which is weird because not that it's insincere. It's not really. I'm not really getting pleasure per se.
You say no
But it's just a
problem.
nice thing to say.
yes,
I think I stole it from the Ritz Carlton. I think
There you
they
go.
say that when they do something.
Maybe
nice,
that's
thank
better
them.
than no problem or no
Happy
big
to
deal.
do it.
I don't
I
know.
like-
Your welcome always feels passive
I
aggressive.
like safe travel.
Yeah,
hey,
but
thanks for the
that's-
ticket.
I think that
Safe travels.
No, it's not an all purpose.
Hey, thanks for buying me lunch.
It's a nice
Safe travels.
No, it's a nice thing to say when somebody's going someplace.
Yeah. Well, that's a nice thing to say, like a bon voyage, except you say safe travels.
Yes.
Yeah, that's nice.
Although
I like safe travels.
when my brother-in-law died, I gave him a cake that said "Bon Voyage."
I saw that. But you gave him that cake, in all fairness,
Yeah.
8 months before he passed.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I
huge.
gave him another one after
cake?
he died. Yeah, I said
Wait,
"Bon
after he died?
Voyage"
He
again.
didn't eat that one.
That
because
feels
he didn't
performative.
die. You know, he didn't
Did you
die
put a
about
little
it.
in his mouth?
No. Ooh,
That would have been gross.
that'd have been creepy.
That's a step too far.
Cross the line.
That was a little bit.
You know,
We should
we
probably
went to
end
high
it.
school with a guy who owned a funeral home.
Yeah.
And he would every once in a while take us down.
Oh God, you should probably stop now.
No, I mean just to see the
Really?
what's on the slab.
Really?
We didn't touch it. I mean, it was creepy.
You know, I don't say goodbye. You know what I say now? I say be good. Which is, I think, what E.T. was. That E.T.'s thing. Be good. I say that. I say be good
I
instead
don't
of
remember
goodbye.
that.
Was it E.T.'s?
I think so. But I use that just routinely. That's a habit of mine. I don't know
I
if it's
wonder
good or
why
not.
they
I
never
just
made a
use it.
sequel. They make a sequel to almost everything.
You
Well,
know,
Steven Spielberg has not made a ton of
Well,
sequels,
he did
has
the
he?
Indiana
Well,
Jones
yeah,
series, so there's that.
But he has a lot of individual freestanding
Yeah, he
movies.
does.
As far as the ones that he directs, the ones he produces have quite a few sequels.
Yeah.
But the ones that he directs, and he did not direct the last Indiana Jones movie, but he did do the first
But
four.
E.T. would have been a good. I mean, it seemed like it was a good thing to
Hard
have
to
a sequel.
recapture. I mean, that, and the kids were getting older.
It's not recapture what?
the magic.
Yeah, how about the money?
Well,
He doesn't need it.
he didn't need the money,
Well, everybody needs a couple $100 extra million.
but he's got them. Everything he did, everything he touched,
Did you
especially in
see-
the 80s.
Is he a
turned to
billionaire?
gold. Oh, many times over.
Did you
many
see
times
the
over.
in the debate last night when they asked Trump about his $400 million?
He said it was a lot less.
He said it was a fraction of that.
Well, I don't know what you're
It
talking
was
about.
that
In
he had
the
started
debate,
off,
he-
getting that from his
Yeah,
father.
they all.
He wished he
Well,
had been that much.
now we're getting into bad territory. Let's sign off. Unless
Yeah, let's
something
sign
has
off.
something
No, let's wrap it up. I
non-political.
feel like we've given the people
Left it
more.
all
but
on
we
the
didn't
mic.
give them the phone number, 612-444-4444. You got to call in. You got to give us your feedback, your questions, your topics, your suggestions for sandwich places, your suggestions for attire.
And if you want to send in $18,
$18
we would
high.
make sure it went to good use.
And if you want to get a tattoo of the Brown and Crouppen logo, we can negotiate. But we're not promising anything, but we would like you to do it, preferably somewhere visible, not just on your behind.
but
unless
the
you're
18
kind
is
that
the
walks
one.
around without
The
underwear.
$18 is the one we mean. Send in $18.
Yeah, send in 18.
If you're
It'll all go to charity.
If you're a little short, send in 15.
There you go. See, the man is already coming off of his number. He's a soft
right.
negotiator. You don't want him. But we're very tough. Send in 20.
See you next time.
Bye. All right. There you have it.
Another
Another one in the can.
another gem.
Nap time.
Bye, Saga.